Okay, so we're going to go directly into lesson 1, and I'll recite each word, and you'll be able to pick up the pronunciation of Pali from my pronunciation. Okay, so we should be on lesson 1, and there's a list of vocabulary words. That's where we'll start. Now, Pali is a language which undergoes what is called declensions. Declension means that a noun is broken down in different ways in order to show how it functions in a sentence. In English, we usually indicate the way a noun is functioning by the use of prepositions. Like we say, okay, the man hit the nail with the hammer. Okay, so with indicates how the hammer is functioning in the sentence. The man pulled the dog by the leash. Again, a preposition. I went from New York City to Pittsburgh. So we have prepositions from New York to Pittsburgh. In Pali, the function of the noun is indicated by the case ending. So we take one noun, for example, the noun Purisa, which means man, and the ending of that noun will indicate how it's functioning. So if the noun is functioning as the subject, it will appear in the form puriso. I'll just go through the declensions very quickly. You don't have to take notes on this. It's just to show you the different forms it will take. Okay, we'll just start with the noun. Okay, puriso, a man functioning as the subject. Purisang, with the ung ending, is accusative. That is the object of the action. He gave the gift to the man. So that is the object. Instrumental purisena, by the man or with the man. Puri saya, for the sake of the man or towards the man. Puri sasa, of the man, what belongs to the man. Puri sasma, from the man, or puri se, in regard to the man. So I'm just going through a quick declension of the noun purisa, just to show you the ending differs to indicate the different function of a noun in the sentence. And so we're going to begin very simply. What's good about this book is that it begins very simply and builds up very gradually. Okay, so we're starting first. There is what is called the stem or base form of a noun. And the most basic class of nouns are the masculine nouns ending in the short A. So we have here the list. If she took a few, has samples. So we go through. I will pronounce each one, and then you repeat it after me. Manusa. Okay, manusa means a person, a human being. It's gender, even though it's a masculine noun, but it's gender neutral. It means any human being. Usually it occurs in the plural. Okay, brahmana. Say it after me. Yeah, and that H before the M is sort of indicated with a little, very slight gurgling in the throat. Brahmana. Brahmana. Okay, that means a Brahmin, Poloman, right? Kumara. Yeah, Kumara is a boy. Usually it's somebody in the princely, aristocratic class. Okay, then comes Nara. Nara indicates a man. Usually it's the gender man, a male person. Nara. Purisa. Okay, then Putta. Putta. And notice that when there are double consonants in Pali, both consonants are sounded, even though it's rather subtle. Putta. It isn't putta, but it's putta. Yeah. I'm exaggerating the second T, but normally we would just say putta. Sari putta. Vanija. Vanid. Yeah. Okay, that means merchant. Kasaka means farmer. Kasaka. Notice I'm sounding both S's. Kasaka. Then matula. Yeah, matula. That means uncle. Uncle. Bulpala. Bulpala. Notice when the vowel has a bar on top, it's extended a little bit longer than the short vowel. So, Bhupala. Okay. Now, a few words for Buddha. Buddha. Notice, American people often say Buddha. Not correct. But you have to sound both the D and the DH. And the consonants that have an H after them, it just means the sound is similar to the consonant without the H, except there's a slight puff of air afterwards. So Buddha. Buddha. Okay, now listen to the next one. Listen carefully to the next one. Tathagata. You've noticed that TH is not like the TH in that or those, but it's more like the TH in Thomas or Teresa. It's just the T with a little puff of air. We call this an aspiration. Tathagata. Tathagata. Okay, then Sukata. Yeah, Sukata means literally well gone, but it's a designation for the Buddha. Sukata. Okay, so this is a number of, still a few more. So, a few words that mean friend. Sahaya. Sahayaka. Sahayaka. Well, because this is a masculine, so this would be a male friend. A female friend, there would be a slight variation. I don't want to go into the feminine anything now, because we'll get to it in time. Mitta. Yeah. But often, one could form, often a feminine is formed based on a masculine simply by changing the short A at the end to a long A. Often that's done. Sometimes the ending is changed from a short A to an I or a long I. So we wouldn't say Kumara, her, a girl, but Kumari. Okay, so this is added to this base or stem to form the nominative case in the singular. So we have, looking at some of the examples that she gives here, Nara in the nominative becomes Naro. You can pronounce after me, Naro. Then the word for uncle as the nominative, Matula becomes Matulo. Okay, coming back to the verbs, Basati. That means one speaks, someone speaks. Bunjati, one eats. Chindati, that means one cuts. Now listen carefully to the next one. Davati. Notice the DH is not like, how do people pronounce it? It's not like the, like I hear many Americans say dhamma. Not correct. But it's dhamma. And in this case, Dhavati. Yeah. The D was a little puff of air. Davati. Okay, now the word for cooks. Pachati. Pachati. Sleeps. Sayati. Sayati. Okay, now the word for goes. Gachati. Gachati. Now, as I explained last week, in Pali, the letter C, even on its own, is pronounced like the English CH, as in church. And then when you have in Pali CH, it's that same pronunciation, but with a little puff of air. So above we had this already, pachati, cooks, pachati. And now for the verb goes, we have gachati, gachati. Okay, now the word plows, kasati, kasati. And if you notice the verb kasati, and if you look just above at the nouns, you see the word for farmer is kasaka. It's not coincidence that the two look similar, because the word that we translate farmer would have originally come from based on the idea of one who plows the ground. So one who plows is kasaka, the farmer. Okay, the verb for one sees, passati, passati. And then the verb meaning one comes, agachati. Yeah, agachati. Yeah, you see the verb agachati, meaning comes, it's based on the verb gachati, goes, except to indicate reversal of the long A at the beginning indicates reversal of direction. So gachati, he goes, ad gachati, he comes. Similarly, there's a verb harati, which means to take away, and aharati. Aharati means to bring to oneself. Yeah, harati to take, aharati to bring. Okay, now we come back to the nouns the masculine nouns ending in A. So now we went through naro, matulo, kasiko. Now we come to the plural form. So this would be where we have several men, several uncles, several farmers. So a few men is nara. The masculine plural ending for this class of nouns is the long A. Nara. For uncles, matula. And for farmers, kasika. Okay, now the next part is going to explain how the verbs are formed. So she says in the verbs listed above, okay, basa, pacha, kasa, and so on, this is called the verbal base, though I've heard the expression verbal stem. And then to make the present tense singular, third person, one adds the ti. So basa is the base, basati is third person singular. Pacha is the base, pachati is third person singular. Kasa is to plow, kasati, someone plows, third person singular. Okay, now the present tense third person plural is formed by using the ending anti, nti to the base. So taking these examples, starting with the base basa, the plural becomes basanti. Or actually, let's go through the example she gives here on page 4. Okay, basati, he speaks. Pachati, he cooks. Kasati, he plows. Okay, now the plural, we use the anti form. Basanti, they speak. Pachanti, they cook. Kasanti, they plow. Okay, then we come to some sample sentences. First, with the singular, naro bahasati. The man speaks. The man speaks. So here, naro is man. It's this masculine singular, nominative, naro. And then the verb basati is third person singular present. Naro basati. Matulo pachati. Okay, matulo is the masculine singular nominative, or meaning uncle. And pachati is cooks. So matulo pachati. Then the farmer plows. Farmer plows the ground. Kasako kasati. Kasako kasati. What about the uncle speaks? Matalo basati. The man plows. All right. Naro kasati. The farmer cooks. Okay. Kasako pachati. Okay, now we have the corresponding plural sentences. And notice the changes. Nara basanti. This is men speak. Notice naro, to make it plural, has changed to nara. And basati, becoming plural, turns to basanti. Okay, so nara basanti. Uncles cook. Suppose you have a family gathering and your mother has two brothers and they are in the kitchen cooking something. So we would say, matula pachanti. Matula pachanti. Okay, the singular, matulo pachati. The plural, matula pachanti. Okay, now third sentence, kasaka kasanti. Yeah, so the farmers plow, but we could even translate the farmers are plowing. Either way is okay. Kasaka kasanti. Kasaka kasanti. Okay, the singular was kasiko kasati, and the plural becomes kasaka kasanti. So even though the explanations in terms of using words like declension, inflection, conjugation start to give you a headache, but when you see the examples, okay, now we'll take she has some exercises. To make it easy, we'll just be doing Pali into English. We won't take English into Pali. If you want to be very diligent, you can do that at home. First we have Bupalo Bunjati. The meaning, the king eats. Putta Sayanti. The meaning, okay, the sons sleep. The sons are sleeping. Okay, so we shoot, yeah. Okay. The question, I'll repeat the question for the recording. The question is whether Pali has definite articles, the way we do in English. Normally, one can construct a sentence without an article. In fact, that's the typical form of the sentence. But sometimes, if one wants to distinguish a particular, say, individual, a group of individuals, then one would use what is called a demonstrative pronoun. So that, for example, so narobasati, that man speaks. So one wants to point to a particular man, or ayang kasako kasati, this farmer is plowing. So we do have definite articles, but they're usually used only in context, where you have to sort of single out and select a particular subject, a particular noun within the sentence to distinguish it from others. But if the noun is obvious, if it's obvious what it refers to, or it's just a very broad generalization, then one wouldn't use the article. Okay, so we have Buddha Sayanti. So we have, okay, a case where there might be a woman and somebody comes to her and says, "Where are your sons?" An Indian woman who's maybe doing some work outside of her cottage, and a friend comes and says, "Where are your sons?" And she looks inside the house to see the sons are sleeping. So what does she say? Buddha Sayanti, my sons are sleeping. Okay. Vanija Sayanti. Okay. The meaning? Okay. Buddho Pasati. Yeah, don't exaggerate that DH too much. It should be fairly natural. Buddho Pasati. Okay, so this means the Buddha sees. Yeah, the Buddha sees. Oh, I'm supposed to ask you. Kumaro Dhavati. And the meaning? The boy runs. How many boys run? One boy, right. Okay. Matulo Kasati. Matulo Kasati. Okay, the meaning? Right. The uncle plows. Or we could say the uncle is plowing. Either way. Brahmata pasantly. Yeah. You get that H, it's just a little bit of a wiggle in the throat. Brahmana pasantly. Whoever spoke, the H was too strong. Just a little bit Brahmana pasantly. And the meaning, yeah, the Brahmins speak, or the Brahmins are speaking. That's true. How many Brahmins? Right. Right. Okay. Mita Gachanti. Okay, meaning the friends are going. Right, the friends are going. Kasaka Pachanti. And the meaning? Okay, say again. Right. Yeah, the farmers cook, or the farmers are cooking. How many farmers are cooking? Right. Manuso Chindati. And the meaning? Somebody want to try? Right, maybe too many people at one time. Right. Okay, yeah. Manusa usually just means a human being. It's sort of gender neutral. The human being cuts. Yeah, or you would say a person cuts, yeah. A person cuts, a person is cutting. Okay, so we did Manuso Chindati, that's sentence 10. So the person is cutting. And now the next one, Purisa Dhavanti. Notice the DH sound. It's Dhavanti. Purisa Dhavanti. And the meaning? Right. The men are running. Yeah, Purisa usually designates men as against iti, which means women. Okay, next 12. Sahayako Bunjati. Okay, and the meaning? Right. The friend is eating. Tathagato Basati. Tathagato Basati. And meaning? Right. The Buddha or Tathagata is speaking. Okay, Naro Pachati. Naro Pachati. So this means the meaning? Right, the man cooks, or the man is cooking. Sahaya Kasanti. Sahaya Kasanti. Okay, so this means, yeah, the friends are plowing. Okay, then 16, sentence 16. Sukato agachati. Sukato agachati. Comes is coming. Sugata is the Buddha. The Buddha is coming. Okay, so this is lesson 1 now. I think we've completed lesson 1. Any questions now on anything covered so far?